You know, that's why you have friends since first grade, and people play standards. You know what you should ask a person? You should ask them where that concept of a relationship is coming from. I took them to, because I was tied up on the day, I took them to like the Sugar Factory.
Is that a strip club?
It's something like that. It's almost like that for kids.
Did Lil Meech really sabotage his own future? Or was he simply a pawn in a larger, more calculated game orchestrated by industry giants like 50 Cent, Rick Ross, and Floyd Mayweather? Behind the flashy jewelry, high-profile parties, and viral social media moments lies a much darker reality. This isn't just a tale of fame gone wrong, it's a story rooted in manipulation, power dynamics, and psychological tactics. Lil Meech's journey offers a raw glimpse behind the curtain of an industry that elevates young talent only to discard them when they're no longer profitable. At the top are the influential figures making the decisions, while the newcomers are left dancing to their tune. From Meech's rapid rise under 50 Cent's mentorship to an unexpected downfall that caught everyone off guard.
Because I don't think that it matters who's making more money. I think it matters the terms of the relationship, how you get involved in it, right? Because I think friendship is the strongest form of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the concept is coming from tradition, then it may not naturally match up with the way we live right now. We live in non-traditional times. It's this modern time. That's no noise, man. No noise. When you just feel a sharp pain in your sharp pain in your back, you know you're in the wrong place. You wasn't supposed to be in that.
Meech's story has been one of instability and betrayal. One moment, he's hailed as the face of BMF. The next, he's embroiled in controversies, reckless choices, and questionable associations that have sparked widespread speculation. But the deeper you examine his path, the more unsettling it becomes. It begins to look less like a series of bad decisions and more like a situation where real choices were never even on the table. Was Meech genuinely living recklessly, or was he being manipulated from the start? For those paying close attention, the signs were there: recurring patterns, strategic power plays, and concealed motives. His ascent might have seemed like freedom, but what if it was just another illusion? A trap masked as opportunity? This isn't merely a story of a young man losing his way. It's an indictment of a broken system designed to set rising stars up for failure while pretending to champion them. Was Meech an easy target because of his father's legacy, or was that legacy precisely why he was pulled into this chaotic machine? To begin with, when you start to peel back the layers, the real question becomes hauntingly clear. Was he ever truly in control, or was everything decided before he even stepped into the spotlight? At first, Meech appeared deeply committed, loyal to the core, standing firmly behind 50 Cent like a true protege. After all, it was 50 who gave him his big break with BMF, bringing him from the sidelines straight into the spotlight. But the relationship took a sudden turn. Out of nowhere, Meech was seen spending time with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, two of 50's most well-known adversaries. Fans were stunned, asking, why would Meech jeopardize everything by aligning with his mentor's rivals? That's when speculation intensified. Some suggested Meech wasn't making those moves independently. Rumors swirled that powerful players were possibly using him to reignite old conflicts and gain leverage in their own long-standing feuds. Was Meech acting out of disloyalty, or was he being steered into these decisions? His abrupt shift in alliances raised serious questions about unseen influences at play. What initially seemed like bold, strategic networking soon unraveled, severely damaging his relationship with 50 Cent. The entire situation appeared far too calculated, like someone else was pulling the strings. This wasn't just some petty falling out. It felt like a well-orchestrated play behind the scenes. It exposed a deeper reality: how young talents are often exploited, manipulated, and discarded in an industry where power dominates and loyalty is easily bought. One misstep and they're canceled, while the real decision-makers remain untouched. The entertainment world is ruthless, especially for those just starting out, forced to navigate fake friendships, real threats, and relentless pressure to stay in the spotlight. Word is, Lil Meech burned through nearly $5 million in just 3 years. All that income from BMF? Gone. From luxury cars and diamond chains to top-tier designer clothes, he was living like royalty. But this wasn't just a case of a young celebrity losing control. Many believe Meech didn't stumble into this lifestyle, he was led into it. There's growing talk that powerful figures in the industry encouraged him to chase that image of excess, the flashy lifestyle, the constant need to impress, it may have all been part of a larger plan. The idea? Keep him spending, keep him dependent, and keep him manageable. Some insiders argue that Meech was strategically placed into that high-roller role to trap him in a loop of financial reliance. He was introduced to luxury, then made to rely on others to maintain it. That's more than manipulation. It's calculated control. His success may have been turned into a leash the moment the money started pouring in. This isn't just a warning about spending recklessly. It's about how quickly success can become a tool for control. All that fashion, all that fame, it wasn't just for the fans. It became a quiet chain. And looking back, Meech's financial crash might not have been an accident at all. It may have been orchestrated from the beginning. Just when things seemed like they couldn't get worse, news broke that Lil Meech was battling a serious addiction to whippets. That's when the alarms really started ringing, and people began questioning the extent of the damage. Whippets, dangerous substance some celebrities quietly glamorize, had reportedly become a real issue for Meech. Suddenly, there were widespread claims that he wasn't just experimenting, but deeply addicted. Then came 50 Cent, stepping in to cover the cost of rehab and urging Meech to get clean. On the surface, it looked like a noble gesture. 50 appeared to be the mentor stepping up to support his protege. But not everyone was convinced. Many started to question whether this was truly about support or control. Because let's face it, when you rescue someone at their lowest, it often puts you in a position of power. To the public, 50 Cent looked like the savior. But behind the scenes, some believe this move only strengthened his hold over Meech. Helping him recover also kept him tethered through gratitude and obligation. It's that delicate line in the industry where genuine care can be wrapped in influence, and Meech's situation highlights that blur. When your personal decisions are being influenced by forces you don't fully see, how much freedom do you really have? Are you truly the star, or are you simply performing when those in charge pull the strings? At first, when Lil Meech was seen, hanging out with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, it looked like he was carving out his own path, stepping out from under 50 Cent's influence and moving independently. But that impression didn't last. Word quickly surfaced behind the scenes. Ross and Floyd weren't supporting him to help him grow. They were using him as a tool to fire shots at 50 Cent. The entire setup wasn't about boosting Meech's success. It was about turning him into a pawn in a long-running rivalry. "You weren't supposed to be in that yard," insiders murmured, pointing to how chaotic things got. And when the attention faded, Ross and Floyd disappeared. No more features, no more shoutouts, just silence. They left him behind like he never mattered. Meech believed he was making power moves, but in reality, he was caught in someone else's agenda. That switch-up didn't grant him freedom, it took it away. This whole fallout revealed something bigger. Celebrity culture doesn't thrive on loyalty. It revolves around usefulness, who can be leveraged the most and who can be dropped the quickest. Young talents like Lil Meech often get drawn into industry feuds they barely understand, only to be cast aside the moment they lose their shine. One day, you're the favorite, the next, you're forgotten. What happened to Meech isn't just another scandal, it's a wake-up call to every up-and-coming artist. Just because someone extends a hand doesn't mean they're offering support. Sometimes it's bait. Meech's fall reveals a harsh truth about the industry. Young stars are often treated like short-term investments. They're used while they're hot, praised for their potential, and discarded quietly once the spotlight dims. Things escalated when 50 Cent took the conflict even further, this time targeting Big Meech, Lil Meech's father. Out of the blue, 50 accused Big Meech of working with federal agents, essentially slapping him with the harshest accusation in the game, being a snitch. Big Meech didn't stay quiet. He hit back hard, calling the claim completely false. He stated clearly that he would never betray his people, even if it cost him his life. That message hit home, but 50 wasn't finished. Instead of stepping back, he doubled down. He shared what he claimed were official court documents for the public to see, papers he said supported his accusations. That move stirred up serious debate. Was 50 genuinely seeking the truth, or was this just another calculated power move? To many, it seemed less about exposing facts and more about sending a message. It felt like a warning shot aimed not just at Big Meech, but at Lil Meech, reminding him that 50 still had influence over his legacy. It wasn't about revealing the truth. It was about control. And for many watching, it proved just how personal and strategic things had become. It pulled private family ties into the public spotlight and placed Lil Meech in an impossible position. If he stood by his father, he risked clashing with one of the most influential figures in the industry. But staying silent could feel like betraying the man who raised him. No matter his choice, he was cornered. In the end, 50's bold move crossed a serious boundary. This wasn't just about business anymore, it got personal. It highlighted how ruthless the entertainment world can become when pride, loyalty, and legacy are all at stake. One of the most surprising claims came directly from 50 Cent himself. He suggested that Big Meech was jealous of the close bond he shared with Lil Meech. That statement changed the entire tone of the situation and exposed that their relationship went far beyond business. According to insiders, 50 knew what he was doing. He didn't just mentor Lil Meech, he stepped into a father-like role, offering guidance and loyalty at a time when Lil Meech may have needed emotional support. But that mentorship may have had another layer. It wasn't just care, it was influence. The jealousy claim wasn't random. It seemed designed to create tension between father and son. If what's being said holds weight, 50 used fatherhood as leverage, drawing Lil Meech in closer while slowly distancing him from Big Meech. That's not genuine support. That's manipulation. Driving a wedge between a father and his son for the sake of control isn't mentorship. It's a calculated move. This case reveals how mentorships in celebrity circles can get toxic when personal motives start to outweigh sincere intentions. It stops being about helping someone grow and turns into an issue of control. If 50 was intentionally creating space between Lil Meech and his father just to tighten his grip, then we're dealing with a different level of control. It proves that sometimes the same people claiming to uplift you might be the ones quietly pulling you apart. And it didn't stay behind the scenes. This feud went public. Instagram became the battleground and 50 took the lead. He mocked Lil Meech over his spending, poor choices, and reckless behavior. But this wasn't harmless teasing. Each post was a calculated jab. Every meme, every caption. It was all part of a strategy. 50 was steadily dismantling Lil Meech's public image. Post by post, the fans laughed and engaged like it was all entertainment. But many didn't realize they were witnessing a deliberate takedown unfold in real time. This wasn't just about jokes. It was about sending a signal to the entire industry. Step out of line, and you'll be made an example. 50 wasn't playing. He was making it clear. Cross him, and the consequences will be very public. So when 50 blasted Lil Meech on social media, it wasn't only personal, it was a loud message to everyone watching. Instagram wasn't just a space for updates anymore, it became 50's stage for psychological tactics. He played the role of general, orchestrating a digital assault while showing the entire industry who still had influence. Every post was meant to diminish Meech's reputation and remind others where the power really lies. This wasn't about clout. It was a psychological game, and with every move, the world watched 50 dominate the board. Now, Lil Meech is left trying to pick up the pieces. Financially strained, isolated, and publicly dragged, he's reaching out to old contacts, trying to salvage what's left of his career and name. These efforts suggest he's just now realizing how deep this situation runs, and how quickly the industry turns its back when you lose control. This business doesn't leave room for vulnerability. Once you're seen as a risk, you're quickly sidelined. Meech's current state is a harsh reminder of how quickly the very system that built you can also break you. One day, you're the rising star. Next, you're out of the loop. As of now, his future is hanging by a thread. Everything depends on whether the major players behind the scenes are willing to give him another chance, or close the door permanently. Because in this industry, forgiveness isn't promised, and second chances often come with strings attached. So here's the real question. Can Lil Meech bounce back? Can he shake off the setbacks, regain trust, and finally take control of his own story instead of letting others write it for him? This isn't just about managing a good PR campaign. No, it'll require genuine growth, maturity, and real accountability. If Meech wants to rise again, he'll need to show he's more than just a name or a legacy. He must prove he's his own man, ready to move wisely and stand strong in a world that's quick to break you down. Lil Meech's fall isn't just another case of a rising star making poor decisions, it shines a clear light on the darker side of the entertainment industry. His journey pulls back the curtain, exposing how unforgiving and calculated the game can be. Was he simply a young artist caught in the crossfire, being used by powerful figures like 50 Cent? Or was he aware, taking chances and betting on high risks for big rewards? Either way, his ongoing efforts to rebuild, repairing his image, and strained relationships reveal how serious and lasting the consequences can be when the spotlight fades. Beneath the jewelry, fame, and the high-profile lifestyle, there's a hard reality. Young talent often gets exploited, pushed aside, and forgotten once they're no longer useful. This isn't just about Meech. It's a reflection of an entire system that thrives on youth and ambition, then discards them without a second thought. The behind-the-scenes manipulation, the performative loyalty, it's all part of a harsh pattern that needs to be challenged. If there's a takeaway here, it's that the game needs to evolve. Artists deserve better. No more pawns, no more schemes. What the next generation needs is genuine respect and real protection. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your take on this whole situation. And as always, we'll catch you in the next one.